Sorry again, not having a Grace Stories episode this week. I'm working really hard on finding some people to talk to, set those up. It's a little difficult to try and work around people's schedules and find people to talk to. And so this week, I wanted to kind of do another devotional like I did last week, and I really hope that these are helpful for you guys or they're interesting. And if you think that they are, if you like this one, let us know, like, comment, share them with people you think that might need to hear some of these things, or even some of the Grace Stories episodes on our YouTube channel. That would be awesome if you guys were able to do that. And this week, I wanted to talk about a little about what it looks like to represent Christ, and not to represent Christ maybe in the way that some people think. I think that we all think that, well, if I'm a Christian and I, am proudly saying it and saying, I'm a follower of Jesus, that, that's enough. That's enough for me, or that's enough for the people around me. But I want to talk about what it looks like to not only accept Christ, but to also what it looks like to deny Christ. And so I'm going to read in Matthew. It's in Matthew 26, starting in verse 69. This is after Jesus is arrested. And it says, "Now Peter was sitting outside in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him and said, 'You too were with Jesus the Galilean.' But he denied it before them all, saying, 'I do not know what you are talking about.' When he had gone out to the gateway, another servant girl saw him and said to those who were there, 'This man was with Jesus of Nazareth.' And again he denied it with an oath, 'I do not know the man.' And a little later the bystanders came up and said to Peter, 'Surely you too are one of them, for even the way you talk gives you away.' And then he began to curse and swear, 'I do not know the man.' And immediately a rooster crowed. And Peter remembered the words which Jesus had said, 'Before a rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times.' And he went out and wept bitterly." Now, I think for a lot of us, we think about denying Jesus of happening in these terms of just saying it explicitly, or affirming or denying in these explicit ways. But if you think back to earlier in the story when they're in the garden and they come to arrest Jesus, Peter doesn't represent Christ well in those moments. When he tries to use force, he tries to use the powers and abilities that are not those of the kingdom to try and oppose the people that he considers enemies. And that's one of the challenges that I want to lay out for you this week and the next few weeks as things heat up in this country. But as things start to change, with local politics or the things that are happening in your community, how do I represent Christ well? Is it just by saying it, or do my actions also reflect my allegiance and my value set of the kingdom? Jesus constantly is talking with his disciples and showing them that the way of his kingdom is different than the way of the world. And I think there's a lot of times where we don't deny Christ explicitly, but we do implicitly with our actions. The way we negatively talk about other people, or people that we consider the enemy, the way we treat our family maybe, or coworkers, or the people around us. And I think that being able to identify with Christ means more than just saying, I'm a Christian, a follower of Jesus, who died and was raised to life, who's taken my sins. I think it means that because of those things, I also live in the Spirit and I act in a way that reflects the values and the kingdom of God, that sometimes is countercultural, it sometimes doesn't line up with the way the people around you act or behave or talk. And that doesn't just mean the people and the culture around you, but it can mean, am I speaking up against things that other people aren't speaking out against? Am I advocating for those who need an advocate? Am I living all of the values of the kingdom? And you can find Jesus talking about that in the Sermon on the Mount and all of these different places with his disciples throughout the Gospels. And so I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about that, but I just want to remind you that denying Christ, not representing Christ well, it's more than just the way Peter did. It's more than just explicitly denying Christ, but also implicitly through the actions and the things that you do. And ultimately, your heart will reflect those things and your actions and your words. And that's what other people see. They see, when they see Christians, they can see those things. And so as you're going through your day, just remember these things, pray about these things. And on a different note, if you have any thoughts or ideas about what we're doing, about what we could be doing as a church to try and connect with you, to help you as you're going through a lot of these turbulent times with COVID and all of the other things that are happening, please, let us know. We want to be able to connect with you here at Grace. And just thank you once again for all that you guys do to represent our church, to represent Christ well, not just here, but in the midst of your work and your family and all of the things that you do. Just thank you once again, and we will talk to you really soon.